Hey gang, by many requests, I'm going to cover the third solo to Taking Care of Business, Bachman Turner Overdrive. Some people say it's the main solo. I don't know, there's so many solos in that great song. It's the one that comes right after the bridge, and it is a really fun one and not that difficult at all. So it's a lot of fun to play. All right, so maybe we should just call it Taking Care of More Business. I don't know. All right, so we're going to do this one note for note. I'm going to do the demo, then we'll do the note for note, and that'll be that. Hey, if you like this one, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe for a couple of these every single week. We will see you in just a second. All right, gang, let's go over this note for note. First things first, you can download the tab from the link in the description. It's going to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, second thing, I did want to talk about the sound. You can see I'm using my orange guitar, my orange Reverend Pete Anderson. It's the closest I've got to a Gretsch 6120, which is what I believe Randy Bachman played this on. Now I've also I'm using the neck pickup because I want a throatier kind of sound on this solo. And on my amp, I'm using sort of a classic crunch tone with just, a decent amount of gain, but not too much. You don't want to overdo the gain. Nothing else. No reverb, no even compression, nothing. Okay, just that. So that's the sound. Your mileage may vary. Okay, so let's go over this. Just a tiny, tiny amount of theory. This can easily be thought of as coming from a C minor pentatonic, but he's playing some notes that are sort of Dorian scale or major pentatonic-y. So we'll talk about that when we come to him, okay? The boogie is basically over two of those, and that's just C, B flat, F, and C. Okay, so let me play the whole thing in sort of a slow-mo, and then we will do a line-by-line breakdown. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so it's kind of going between C minor pentatonic, C major pentatonic, but some fun sounds in between, okay? So we're going to start out with a little bend. Now, I don't know if Randy Bachman bent it on the first string. If he did, amazing, because you got to bend like a step and a half on this one. So the easiest one that I find is on the second string, 13th fret. I'm going to bend that up a whole... Let's just kind of go over that first line. Okay, so for that one, I'm going to pre-bend basically a step and a half and bring it down to the 13th, right? That's a C, and then play this note right here, which is a E flat on the 11th fret, first string, and then back to the C on the 13th, second string. So, like so. Like I said, he may have originally played it in this position. Bully for him. That's tough for me to bend up that first string a whole step and a half, so I don't do it. Okay, second line is this. Okay, totally normal blues scale sort of thing, or minor pentatonic sort of thing. We're going to do this little hammer on the third string. And then jump, we have to skip a string here and play the first string on the 8th. and then 11 pull off to 8, ending up on the 10th on the 3rd. So it's like this. All right? And then we end up by bending on the 3rd string, 10th fret, whole step. Okay? So the second line is this, basically. So that one is really fun because you're playing around with this note, which is really not in a C minor pentatonic, and bending it to the note above it just a little bit. So it's a half step bend. It's a lot of fun. You're playing with that a little bit. So you're starting with this bend on a 3rd string, 10th fret, whole step, and then jumping to the top. So it's kind of Chuck Berry-ish. And then coming down to the 2nd string, 10th fret, not the 11th, as you normally would in a minor pentatonic, but you're coming down to the 10th. So it's like this. And then you're going to, in a series of a bunch of these, you're going to hit it, and then you're going to bend it up a note, and then hit it, and then bend it up a note. So you're going to keep going up and down a half step on this 10th to 11th. So like this. And then the last one, you just hit 2 in a row. And give it a little vibrato. Okay, so one more time. Here it is. Okay, here's the next line, going from the same place. Okay, so that's actually a really neat line, and the thing with this solo is all the lines blend into each other so well. I think that's why it works so well, because it just flows. It's not like just a bunch of separate licks. It's all kind of comes together. Even though it's a really simple rock solo, it really is well put together, I think. All right, so here we go. Okay, so we're going to start from the same place, 10th, and we're going to bend up a half step and pull it down to the 8th. And then we're going to use this little C triad here, starting on the 3rd string 9th, and then 2nd string 8th, 1st string 8th. That's a little C triad. So and then come down to the 2nd string 10th again. All right? Like so. And then to end it, it just goes like this. So that's a little, you're going to hammer on 8, 10, and then 8. On the 3rd string, you're going to play 10, 8, and bend up that 8 just a little bit, just a little tweak. And then very quickly, you're going to play 10, 8 on the 4th string, like a blues player would, right? Like a Stevie Ray Vaughan trail off. Okay, here it is again, slow motion. Like that. Okay? Here's the next line. Okay, so very simple line. We're coming up a string, 10th fret. We're going to bend that up and keep it up and pull it down slowly. And then 8, 10. And then give this little double stop here on the 8th fret on the first 2 strings. All right, so strings 1 and 2, 8th fret. Again, that's just a little C double stop. So, okay, last line. Okay, this is a really nice ending because it ends up on a C triad up here in a different position. But we're going to start with the same double stop and then same notes. So it's almost like the reverse of the previous lick. So 10, 8, But now we're going to hit 10, slide up to 12, and then we're going to play the second string 11th and first string 12th. So that's actually outlining a C7 chord. Right? So it goes like this. And then we're just going to play a little bit around the edges. We'll play 13 on the first, 12, and then second string coming down on this, which is a little C triad. 12 on the first, second string 13, third string 12th, and again, and then ending on that 13, which is a C, giving it just a little vibrato. All right, here's the whole solo one more time, slowly. That is that. Well, what can I say, gang? The third solo, the solo after a bridge, whatever, to Bachman Turner Overdrive's Taking Care of Business. Oh, what a good one. I love this kind of stuff, and I hope you do too. We will see you on down the road.